Okay, right now we're talking about Vanisher Horizon Scraper, the new album from Quadeca. And I gotta be honest, it is incredible. It's really amazing. It's a work of art. This is an artistic expression like like few other records we've heard in 2025. And for those unfamiliar with Quadeca, since he started releasing albums after his like little mixtape era. He's always been on the more experimental side of hip hop, the more like left field leaning side. But his first couple records have a lot more in common with hip hop than Vanisher or last year's Scrapyard, which you know was also really incredible. That was one of my favorite records of last year. And on Vanisher, that record to me feels like it has much more in common with like a neoclassical record, maybe something by like Johan Johansson, or a record that I think it sounds a lot like, even though it's not hip hop at all, is "The Age of Odds" by Sufjan Stevens. And oh my gosh, the whole record is just full of these layers of orchestra stuff. There's all these. It's just such like a dense wall of music that like I said, super layered, like an onion or maybe your favorite ogre. I have some notes down here. Godstained is was a single. It was released before the record, and it incorporates some bossa nova in there, but then it kind of goes off on its own, and it becomes this like really incredible track. And there's uh, there's this line at the end of it where he's kind of talking to somebody about like, oh, you thought you knew me, well, you didn't really know me, because here's all these things you didn't know. And I love that. I love that he's kind of pulling back the curtain, like, oh, you thought you knew me? No, you actually didn't know me at all. I love that. Then further on, That's Why, which beautiful track, really really beautiful track. But then to just kind of listening to it, kind of after hearing it several times, I think what this track is kind of like getting across. I think what Quadeca is trying to say here is that like um you know evolving as an artist, evolving your artistry, evolving your style, your sound, just kind of evolving as a human is really cool. That's something that other artists have like talked about in music, but I feel like that's maybe what Quadeca is trying to get across, and that's why maybe I'm reading too far into it, but that's kind of what I got out of it. And I would say that if you're familiar with Quadeca, this is quite the evolution. I mean, if you compare this record to Sorry for Haunting You, very different, right? So then the closer of the track. Oh, I should also mention, Danny Brown is featured on a track, and like, what better artist to feature on an album like this than Danny Brown, who is, so abstract and has like put out very avant-garde hip hop. And Vanisher is has hip hop elements. There are verses, there is a little bit of rapping, but this is pretty far flung for a hip hop record. The end track, the closer track, which the title doesn't come to mind immediately, but featuring Maruha, uh, fantastic, fantastic. Which again really reminds me of The Age of Odds and how that ends. So if you haven't checked it out, definitely check out the new Quadeca record, Vanisher Horizon Scraper. It's beautiful. It's incredible. Another record that I thought it sounded, that kind of reminded me of, was the new album from Quickly Quickly, which I have talked about on the channel. And I have, it was in my top records of 2025 so far, if you want to check out that video. Yeah, you're really loving this. So, hope you enjoy it. Let me know if you like it. I'll see you later, and goodbye.